So the kids over on TikTok are trying to convince everyone and their mother that they have cortisol face. I'm here to set the record straight. You most likely do not have cortisol face. Cortisol is a hormone that plays a vital role in a variety of different bodily functions. However, there are several disease states, pathologic situations, where cortisol is abnormally high and results in a constellation of symptoms known as Cushing's, including a round face with excessive deposition of fat in the face as well as fluid retention. We refer to that as a moon face, but you might also call it cortisol face. This was first identified by, Dr. Cushing himself, an American neurosurgeon who was taking care of patients with pituitary tumors and noted that they had this finding of excessive facial fat deposition, and then of course went on to describe the state of hypercortisolism related to pathologic elevations in cortisol due to, these pituitary tumors. When your cortisol is high to the point that it's causing true cortisol face, it requires immediate medical attention. There are a variety of other things that likely you will develop. You might have excessive fat deposition in your upper back that's referred to as a buffalo hump, osteopenia, osteoporosis, and a susceptibility to fractures, profound muscle weakness, deep purple stretch marks, easy bruising, elevation in liver enzymes, high blood sugar, hair growth on the face. That's known as hypertrichosis. Your potassium may be way too low. Now, it's true that we are all under a lot of stress that can cause our cortisol hormone to be high, to spike. Trust me when I say this, those elevations in cortisol are not sufficient to cause true cortisol face, otherwise known as moon face. Moon face is something that we see when you have pathologically elevated cortisol due to the following conditions. So why might you actually develop the constellation of symptoms, including moon face, related to high cortisol? Well, there are two basic ways in which this can happen. Exogenous Cushing's and endogenous Cushing's. Exogenous means something from the outside coming in is causing the problem. Endogenous means there's something inside of you that's causing the problem. The vast majority of cases of Cushing's are due to exogenous reasons, specifically intake of medications known as glucocorticoids, such as prednisone, triamcinolone, budesonide. There are many. These medications can be given by mouth in a pill form, they can be injected, they can be inhaled, and they can be applied to the skin. We actually use these medications a lot in dermatology to treat a variety of different skin conditions. We use them applied to the skin, and we also give them to patients orally and sometimes injection. And many of our patients have asthma, a condition that is treated by inhaled corticosteroids. So these are all circumstances in which these medications, if not monitored and dosed appropriately and used for the appropriate period of time, can actually lead to Cushing's. I'm going to show you a case report of a little child whose mother had gone to the pharmacy because he had a diaper rash. The pharmacist gave her clobetasol ointment, a very strong steroid. She then proceeded to apply that to the quote-unquote diaper rash for 7 months. What I'm showing you here is a picture from the case report of the child. He developed moon face, cortisol face. He also developed hypertrichosis on the face. Not only was the child given one of the strongest steroids, clobetasol, also in an ointment form, making it even more potent, it was applied under occlusion, under a diaper, for a prolonged period of time without monitoring. This was in a country where you can just go into a pharmacy and be given clobetasol. You don't require a doctor to see you and to recommend it and prescribe it. It can just be obtained from a pharmacist. So the child was not being monitored, and it's an 11-month-old. Babies absorb these things much more robustly than adult skin. So all of those factors together, this child unfortunately developed Cushing's. Now the good news is this was identified, the medication was stopped, and the child's moon face and other signs and symptoms went away. So all that to say, that's a situation where, you'd really worry about it. While the vast majority of cases of Cushing's are exogenous, meaning related to glucocorticoids corticoid medications, there's also endogenous Cushing's, meaning related to things inside of you. 64% of cases of endogenous Cushing's are due to a pituitary tumor, a pituitary adenoma. Pituitary is a gland in your brain. 30% of cases of endogenous Cushing's are due to a problem in the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are the glands that sit on top of your kidneys. You can have a tumor or other abnormality that leads to endogenous Cushing's. And then 6% of cases of endogenous Cushing's are what we call ectopic, meaning you have some random collection of cells or a tumor somewhere in the body that is just not supposed to be there and is pumping out cortisol. This might be in your thyroid, this might be in the thymus gland, it might be in your pancreas, it might be in your lung. These are pretty rare, okay? You most likely don't have these. Endogenous Cushing's as a group, which includes pituitary adenomas, adrenal problems, and the ectopic sources, not very common. Like I said, most commonly it's going to be exogenous Cushing's. The incidence of endogenous Cushing's is pretty uncommon. It's about 8 cases per million people annually. So that's not super common. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but trust me, you probably don't have it. And if you did have it, you would have many other things going on. There's another situation where you can develop what kind of looks like a moon face, and some might even call it a moon face. Hypothyroidism can cause a condition known as myxedema, where you have what's described as facial plethora. You have a lot of facial fat, facial swelling. That's another situation. Not necessarily related to cortisol, but rather hypothyroidism. But if you're just super stressed out, trust me when I say this, the stress is not enough to cause moon face. But there's no doubt that high stress can impact our skin in a variety of ways. Stress can impair our immune system, cut down on healing. It also can compromise skin barrier integrity, leading to an increase in transepidermal water loss. Those spikes in cortisol also can drive increases in sebum production, leading to acne breakouts and oily skin. Stress can also get in the way of healthy collagen production. Chronically being under a lot of stress likely plays a role in premature wrinkles and the skin signs of aging. Many skin conditions are aggravated by bouts of stress, such as rosacea and psoriasis, atopic dermatitis. And of course, when we are stressed out, it tends to impact our sleep quite a bit. Poor sleep feeds into more stress, sacrifices the healing opportunities for our skin and our total body, compromises our immune system even further, so it creates this vicious cycle. A lot of people will be like, I don't care what you say, I've been super stressed out and I know my face looks super puffy. Well, it's not cortisol face, true moon faces. Most likely related to probably poor eating habits, fluid retention. Maybe you've been drinking more alcohol, not eating the best foods, having a high salt diet. These all can lead to weight gain and fluid retention and make your face look puffy and swollen. But it's not true cortisol face. Those things can develop if you eat that way in the absence of chronic stress. Maybe you're feeling really good. You're nice and relaxed and chilled out and you're just, eating a bunch of chips and salsa and pounding the beers and everything. Yeah, your face is probably going to be a little swollen. You might put on weight in your face. I'll leave you with this. It's really important to have a strategy in place to manage stress because it's an inevitable part of our lives. And truth be told, you don't want to completely eliminate all stress because some degree of stress on the body is important. It actually strengthens our immune system to have some degree of stress and makes us more robust. When you completely eliminate stresses on the body, it actually can leave the body quite weak. So you do need some degree of stress. It is actually healthy for you. And some degree of stress is necessary to foster resilience, which is critical for longevity. What can you do to make sure that you have good control of your stress? I suggest putting good boundaries in place. I think people become very stressed out when they overextend themselves because they feel as though they're socially obligated to do so, or maybe they feel as though they will miss out on some sort of key opportunity in their career if they do not say yes to every little thing possible. But if you overextend yourself, you become stressed out, you're not able to fulfill those obligations, or you're not doing those things as well as you could be if you dial down on the number of things you had committed to. I cannot emphasize enough the power of learning to say no to things that are not, helpful to you or to those around you. Prioritizing sleep is essential. Getting in a routine where you go to bed at the same time every night and you wake up at the same time every morning can help out tremendously. Now, not everyone's going to be able to do that. Some people work night shifts, swing shifts, and it's not always easy, but developing some sort of sleep routine is essential. Also, make sure you're eating a healthy, balanced diet, fruits, vegetables, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats. Try and not subsist off of processed, ultra-processed foods. Takeout, not only is it not good for your body, but it's not good for your wallet. Make sure you get exercise every day. Go on a walk. You don't have to be doing some intense sport. Just exercise regularly. A sedentary lifestyle, it fuels the flames for poor sleep and poor health. All right, that's what I wanted to say with regards to cortisol phase. Hopefully this helped clarify it so that you don't fall for some ad for some supplement to fix your cortisol phase. Trust me, there is no such thing as a supplement that will address Cushing's, which you likely do not have. I hope this video was informative to you. On the end slate, I'm going to link my video all about the warning signs of high cortisol, meaning Cushing. So check that one out next to see the impact that pathologically elevated cortisol can have on your skin. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.